This is Hema from GoEngineer Tech Support Group. In this quick tips video, I'm going to demonstrate a new feature that was introduced in the 2013 version of Enterprise PDM called Parallel Workflow Transition. When there is a need for multiple users or groups to run a specific transition, Parallel Workflow Transition is very useful. Parallel transitions are created in the workflow editor of the administration tool. When you select Parallel as the transition type in the Transition Properties dialog, a Roles tab is added that lets you specify users and groups who can approve the transition and the number of approvals that is necessary to move a file to a new state. This is done by clicking on Add Role and naming the role and specifying the number of users that are required to approve the transition. And I'm adding the members here by selecting a group workflow approvers and hit OK. And it populates the name of the role along with the number of required users. Hit OK and save the workflow. Now that the transition is set up in the workflow, let's go to the vault view and test the feature out. So as you can see, this specific file is in the under editing state, and a user when he goes to change the state with the transition no approval required, it shows that there are 0 users that approved the transition and there are 2 users that need to approve the transition. And you hit OK. In the transition window you can see that it requires 1 more user apart from this user to approve the transition. I entered a comment and I hit OK, and you can see that the state is still in the same old state under editing. And if we go back to change the state, it shows that it has an option for you to revoke your approval. So that said, if we log off as the user Tim and log back in as a different user who belongs to the same group as we specified in the role, go back to the vault, right click and change the state, it shows that 1 user has approved and there are 2 users altogether to approve the transition. When I hit OK, in the history column here it shows the user's name and their comments that have approved the transition. Type in a comment and hit OK, and the transition or the state changes to the next state, new state. And this is how the parallel workflow transition works in starting 2013 of EPDM. This has been Hema, and I hope you enjoyed the video.